Hello, my peeps. It's Tracy Stewart here, your local paper pusher. I am once again waiting on the computer to do its thing. Part of tonight's delay was actually me because I went into Zoom, and instead of hitting the little three dots that gives me the option to go to stream to YouTube, I hit the end call and had to start over. You know, I'll own it. Sometimes it's me. I'm currently waiting though for the comments to come up. Let's see. No matter what I do, it's crooked. It's my camera that's crooked. There we go. You can. So prior to this starting, I'm working on getting ready for my pop-up this weekend. And my desk, you couldn't even see that it was a wooden desk. There was so much stuff on it. So yeah, it's all just sort of pushed off to the side once again. I'm just getting it out of my way. So I think everybody's had a couple minutes now to try to catch up. Catching up to me. It's me catching up all the time on technology, it seems. So yeah, what's up this Wednesday? Kits is up. How horrible is that English? Kits is up. Okay, so I actually was curious because I'm deep into doing this other stuff, and I don't know what I did with them. If you read my blog, well, I carefully slide across the room and try not to make too much noise. If you read my blog that I overcame technology and got back in, then you'll know I had some fun with the Daisy bundle. And made this, I absolutely love this card. This is for a friend, so hopefully she's not watching right now. There we go. Ta-da! But yeah, I had some fun with the Daisy bundle. So you will see some details and which dies I used and all the different things that go with the dies for all of these little Daisy cards. I love this layout. Birthday card, I mean, a different one with that one too. And a little bit of Burberry. If you know, you know. Okay, so I got a blog on that. So I was doing those and I had pieces all over the place, and then I was getting ready for the weekend and I had pieces all over the place. And I thought, you know what I really want to do is I just want to do that kit with the shaker guards, because I want to see what they look like and like how easy are they to put together, to see if it's something like what age kid could put it together. And also just because I like to put together stuff where somebody else does all the work, because I've been doing a lot of work lately. So that's what I decided I wanted to do. But then I thought, I have an opportunity here. I should maybe take one more step back from just like jumping in and doing the kit, although we're going to make at least one of each card. And maybe just update everybody on the kits, because I think I get bits and pieces of information, but I'm not sure if I've ever painted the whole picture. So. And it's also a good time to remind you that today is the last day. If you aren't subscribed already, you have till it's like 11:35 or something. I always tell people 11 o'clock because it's easier. That way, if you have any computer difficulties, you still got time. So you have till 11 o'clock tonight, the 10th. It's always the 10th of the month to sign up if you want to get this. What's the May paper pumpkin kit, which is the one with this beautiful mountain scenery and all the new in colors. And what does it say? 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs, all occasion stamp set that celebrates good friends and great adventures. Oh, and I keep forgetting to get a picture of it, but it comes with some free stickers coming in it too. And it also has the coordinating cards and envelopes. So the envelopes are still in there. They're just colored envelopes. Why are they behind? Just to make it more difficult for me to get them out. Yes, that is totally why. There we go. So these are Copper Clay, Moody Mauve, and Boho Blue. And they are, in fact, just white inside. Lots of times the envelopes have colors on the inside. These ones do not. Oh, but they're such pretty earthy colors. And then there's these 3 cards that just have little sceneries. And they're just white on the inside. So here's the thing with paper pumpkin kits. We don't know what they are. We get teasers, right? So ahead of time, they had shown us this picture with nothing. No color, sorry, not nothing. It was just a picture. And we knew that this little bit of write-up, what spots it comes with, like full size. I think they tell us the color ink spot ahead of time now. I mean, we knew it was one of the in colors because the kit's called Exploring In Color. So we get little like teasers of it, but we never know the full kit. We don't get to see the cards. Every now and again, they'll show us a card base, like the one kit a couple months ago that had the little peekaboo card, so it had little holes in it that like the cards folded over. That one they showed the bases. Like demonstrators get a sneak peek, and then customers will get to see whatever demonstrators share. So if you see a little, like I usually take the pictures they give us, there's always a little banner or something that looks like this that they tell us. But we do not know what's in them. So we know that they're going to coordinate with these cards. And this little add-on is a great thing. You get 18 cards plus the envelope. So you get 6 of each of these 3 cards for $13.75, and tax comes out to like 16. So that's like less than $1 for a card and an envelope. Now, what I'm going to assume is whatever sentiments are in the kit, maybe there'll be extra labels. If not, you just can cut extra labels. We'll go on these cards and we'll coordinate and we'll sort of extend your kit. Oh, hello, Dana. Oh, I'm so happy to see a comment. I always just start and hope for the best, but it's nice to know there's actually like somebody there. So yeah, these are nice now, but we don't actually know the deal of them, right? So part of the fun, I think, of Paper Pumpkin is the fact that you don't know what's coming. It's a surprise to everybody when you get it. The add-ons, they never used to do add-ons when the Paper Pumpkin first came out. They never used to do add-ons. And they always were just a red box. Here's your kit. But they've developed so much more stuff lately. So lots of times there's add-ons. I will tell you that next month the add-on is dies again, which they've only ever done once before. This will be the second time they've done the dies. It's the same as these fancy boxes. I didn't actually bring one. I would say usually the boxes are red, but I'm not even sure anymore. I'm kind of see what I knocked on the floor there. So usually they're just red boxes. Honestly though, we've had so many specialty boxes lately that sometimes the boxes are red, but more often than not, they are specialty boxes. So the quick 101 on the Paper Pumpkin kits, as I carefully stack that on the very edge of a table and hope for the best. When you get your Paper Pumpkin kit, you have to sign up by the 10th, right? So either subscription or in the case of it's with the add-ons as well, you can only get those things if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. Well, I happen to be, so that's why I just say, if you want one, let me know. Like if I need to get one, your best way to do it is just to get a kit or get a subscription. Now you still have the option to pick and choose. I didn't get last month's kit. The first time in 10 years. So this March, April, May. So March was the 10th year anniversary of Paper Pumpkin. I have got every kit every month for 10 years up into including March. The April kit didn't work for me. And I'm getting to the point now where I'm starting to get a little bit of backlog. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to skip a month. And I can do that. You can do, and I can skip this month too if I want, but I really wanted this month. I want next month's too. But it's really easy to do it. So you have to pick by the 10th of the month though. So like my subscription tonight, if I didn't want the next kit that was coming, one like based on a sneak peek or just based on I don't want it or whatever, then I have to go in by the 10th and suspend the kit for the month. And then they just won't ship this month's kit. Now, after this month, it automatically, the suspension comes off and automatically goes back to shipping the next month. If you don't want it the next month, go in before the 10th, turn it back off again. You can cancel it anytime too, and then you won't get any more at all. But if you just leave it, then they just keep coming. So you have to sign up by the 10th. On the 12th is when they sort of finalize everything, put the billing through, and then all of the kits have shipped by the 15th. If something happens with your credit card, like in the first run, There's a second run that goes on the 20th. So it gives you a bit of time if you all of a sudden you get an error message, or they send you really funny messages that say, oh no, something didn't happen right. Did you mean to not cancel? So like you get cute little emails from Paper Pumpkin. It's like they're coming from the pumpkin. And it'll tell you, something happened, your credit card didn't work. I did it the one time, I forgot to update the expiry date. Because when you get a new credit card with a new expiry date, and you have to go to 80 places to figure out where it's all put in to update. So I just went back in, updated it before the 20th. The next run came through and I got my kit. Now, a lot of times there's not any full kits left after the run goes through. Here, I'll show you this first, and then I'll tell you the second part. Okay, so yes, lots of times there's fancy boxes. So if you're going to get your kit, though, you're going to get a full kit. And I'm using this for something else right now, these little sentiments. So you would normally get a full stamp set. Yes, these two are missing on purpose. So you're going to get a stamp set. In this case, I took out the ones that are Mother's Day themed. You're going to get an ink spot. And with the Paper Pumpkin kits, in a 12-month period, they won't repeat an ink spot. Right? So you'll get a collection of them through the course of the year. They come with the same cool pictures of the cards, and they come with the full instructions, the colored instructions. I mentioned it on one of the other ones. Let me see, is it in here somewhere? There's no embellishments on this one, or no little like gems on this one, I guess. Anyway, because they'll even show that. Like, I mean, here they've got pictures that show you, I don't know if you can see, that on the back of the pot, you should put 3 little blue dots. And on the back of this label, you should put 3 little dimensional. They're very detailed. Now, you can do whatever you want with these kits. You can make them the way you want. There's a huge set of websites and all sorts of things for Paper Pumpkin that show alternatives. Some people will just make different things with the kit, like with what's in this box. And other people will add like some of their other supplies or things from past kits to make new alternatives. So every kit is going to come with a whole bunch of die cuts. I haven't had time to do this one, so it's basically in its pristine condition. So this one's got a whole bunch of die cuts. We got a whole bunch of leaves, and then eventually we'll get to the card bases. Oh, I think I've mentioned this before. The Paper Pumpkin kits come like with this tissue paper, right? So because it was an anniversary, it's gold. It's blue generally, but it matches the theme of the box. So usually this is wrapped around whatever's in them. This one I actually kept. Usually I just crumple it up and put it in the recycle bin, but this one I thought, you never know what you might need for gold. So there's the adhesives. There's all the envelopes, card bases, all the die cuts, right? So this is your full kit. Now, after they go through, sometimes, and what happens is after the run on the 20th, whatever the Monday is after that, so it could be 21st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, whatever the Monday is, they will release any, if there's leftover full kits, which is like this, or if there's leftover, or if there's refills, they will then release them. They like to wait for everybody to have a chance at that second run and before they let you go. So if you get a refill kit, you basically get this. You get the instructions and all the consumable papers. You don't get the stamp set and the ink spot. So Paper Pumpkin, this kit is $34 plus tax, because the shipping is included in that $34 for the courier. It comes by FedEx. The refill boxes, I want to say, are $15 plus shipping and tax. So to get the original, like the first run of the kit, you have to have a subscription, or you have to be like me. I can have as many, I can order up to 30 kits on my email, per email. So I can up my number to 30 this month and go down to 10 next month and go back to 1 the next month. So I can have as many kits as I want in that initial run. There's no guarantee that there will be kits after that initial run. They don't always have kits or refills even on any of them. So there's no guarantee. The only way to guarantee you get the kit is to have the subscription. But then they will post afterwards if there's like leftovers, they'll post them. Now to get the ones that show up they'll show up in the online store. Those ones you have to order through a demonstrator or put an online order in, right? So that's the price there. Does not include shipping or tax, because that's added to those orders as they go. So, I mean, you're still paying shipping and tax either way. It's just one is included in the initial price except for tax, because tax is different whatever province you live in. And these ones, shipping and tax, are added on because you could add it to part of an order. But in order to order one of these, that's too many to say word in one sentence. If you want to order one of these, it will ask you right on the online store for your email address that's on your Paper Pumpkin account. So to get the add-ons, to get these, to get refills, to get anything else, you need a subscription, or you need somebody with a subscription who will get one. So that's the basics of Paper Pumpkin. Oh, one other thing, sorry. When you first sign up to Paper Pumpkin, so if you signed up on the 12th of this month, the kit you get is whatever next month's kit is, right? Because you're after the 10th. So you just get the first kit that comes out. Now, this one did not have a block in it, but the very first kit you get will have one of these D blocks in it. Ooh, should have picked a clean one. So this will come in the box. And then after that, you don't get a block every month. But every stamp that's in this kit will always fit on whatever block is in here. There's been some where you have to turn them sideways, get them at the right angle, but they will always fit on a D size block. Now you can order smaller blocks and get more blocks and stuff like that, you know, through the online store demonstrator if you want more, but you get one to come with. And in theory, you could use one. You just have to like take one stamp off, put one stamp on kind of thing. So first kit comes with a block, the rest of them don't. I tell you that because that is one of the differences. I have so much stuff everywhere. I have to figure out where to put it. This kit here, I'll show you what I meant. This kit here, because it was the 10th anniversary, there was a bonus stamp set in it. It doesn't always come like that. So this sometimes one year it was an anniversary one, and we got a set of 5 markers. One year we got some wooden embellishments. There's been a couple times we've got an extra stamp set. So yeah, some of the anniversary ones you just get extra stuff. The kit last month had little dividers that you could use in your box to organize your leftovers and your ink spots if you start getting a whole bunch of them. This was the extra set that came last month in the same box with this one, but it was the extra, like an extra gift because it was the 10th anniversary. So like I said, sometimes, maybe I'll do it this way, you can see better. Let me see how big the block is and how big that stamp is. So everything will fit on here though. Like sometimes you look and think, well, that's not going to fit, but it does. But yeah, so this was just a bonus set that came with this particular kit. Okay, so that's the Paper Pumpkin setup. Now, oh, it's only been a couple years, I think. Stampin' Up! Came out with the kit collection. And when it first came out, I think it was a couple Christmas kits. It was Christmas cards, Christmas tags, and then there were some bags to go with them, I think is what came the first. And they came out one month. They advertised them. I think some of them very quickly sold out. They brought them back in, sold out again. And then a few months later, they brought in a different kit. I don't remember. And then it was a few months after that. Well, they've got it sort of refined now. And now on the first Tuesday of each month, a new kit releases. So these kits just show up in the online store. Or I always make one of these, right? When I first get it, it shows you, this is what the finished product looks like. So there's 9 cards. And you can see there's 3 of each, and it kind of shows you what the finished product looks like. This is a stamp set. There's a few of these kits that don't actually have stamp sets. They come with labels instead. And so I will generally write something in there because the labels are pretty cool if you get one with labels, because it has English, French, German, and Dutch usually on the different labels. I guess it's worth noting that the Paper Pumpkin kits, that's only available in North America. So only Canadian and US customers can get them. The kit collection, the whole global market can get them. So I think that's part of why when they make them, they put all 4 languages in there. And then this other picture is just kind of a picture of the kit component, so you can get an idea what pieces are in it. So, and then it'll tell you the price plus tax. So this is the one that just came out in, what month are we in? May, right? So the one that was before that was Friends Forever, I think, was a really pretty kit. It happens to be when I first opened the catalog and I'm looking, there's a kits page in the catalog. It just tells you that there's a kit collection and to look online. In the middle, like there's kind of like stripes. In the middle, when I'm looking and I'm like, that's a new kit because I hadn't seen it before. And sure enough, that was the kit that came out. So these ones come out on the 2nd. Now these ones are always ordered through the store. So, and they are just while supplies last, right? So if you see a kit in the store, then there's still stock in it. If you see a kit on the store and it says not currently available, it means they've currently sold out of all the boxes, but they're getting more in. If you see a kit there one day and you go back a couple days later and it's not there, that means it's sold out and it's not coming back. So how many of them do we make? How long do they stay? It really just, it depends on sales. If in order for them to make a whole new run of a whole new batch of kits, the sales would have to be, I would think, fairly steady. So kits are one of those things, if they come out and you really want one, grab it. Let me know and I'll get it for you. I'm actually ordering some stuff tomorrow, and I am ordering some kits for a ladies' night that we're having end of June, beginning of July-ish. And kits are, oh my goodness, doesn't matter whether it's this or a paper pumpkin or one of these kits. These kits are just easier to order. They make for such an easy, fun thing to do while you get together with friends. Or if you're going to go out to the lake and you want something to do, take them in, in the trailer and doing camping. If you're going on a trip and you're going to be, especially a business trip, and you're going to be stuck in the hotel at night, take a kit. Everything you need is in the box, right? Probably the one thing that you might need, and it kind of depends on if there's twine or not. Like I can't remember any other kit that you needed scissors for, unless it was to cut twine. You might need scissors, but I don't even think that's every kit. So this is a shaker kit, and we're going to actually put the cards together. And you'll see one of the reasons I ordered this kit was because I love this stamp set, this big happy birthday. I can see using this oh happy day too, but I wanted this happy birthday, which I've already used. I used it on one of the daisy cards, which I put too far away to reach. Love the font on this card. So here's my stamp set. So this would have all been cellophane together, but I opened it up the other day to give people kind of an idea. Let's see if we can do it this way. So this one comes with a stamp set, and all of the kit collection ones, each kit has its own block in it, right? Because you may not have ever got a kit before in your life. So every time you get one of these kits, it's going to have a block in it, which is one of the things that makes it kind of handy if you're, like I said, if you're doing ladies' night, or you want to do a kid's birthday party, or guys all want to get together and make a bunch of cards they can give to their wives, or you just want to do it or buy them and give them as a gift to somebody. Everything's in here that you need, right? You don't have to worry about adding any supplies. It comes with an ink spot. This is Blueberry Bushel, which is was an in color a few years ago. It's a really pretty blue. And it came back in the color refresh that came out with the new catalog. It's got adhesives. And so the fact that for this particular one, it will always have adhesives. In this case, it's only got tear and tape, my favorite. It doesn't have dimensionals or glue dots, so you obviously don't need them. Because this is a shaker card, it has a whole big, oh my goodness, there's all sorts of colors and shinies and little stars and little like bumpy half circles. Some of them are sequins. Oh, it's a very colorful little bag of fun there. And then again, all of your card bits and pieces. Oh, nope, there, look at that. There is dimensionals. I'm shocked. Shaker cards need dimensionals, but I haven't figured out exactly. I think we're doing this the fun way. There's ways you can do shaker cards with like strips of foam where you put them around the whole place, and I keep taking my hand off. So you would make like a circle of foam. You put the shaker on top. You put a window sheet on top of it, like the clear plastic, so you can see through them. The easier, newer method that somebody came up with, and these are just the cutest little bags because these are smaller than normal, but we have these clear envelopes for cards, is kind of the cheater one, where you put this underneath and then all your shakers are in this bag instead of having to use all the strips and everything. So that's kind of fun. So yeah, this one has a few extra things. If there was twine, if there was little embellishments, whatever, that would be what would be coming in the kit. So kits, like I said, there's so many awesome things for kits. I do have some kits on hand. I tend to get some of the newer ones, and I had some left over from before. And the pop-up that I'm doing this weekend, you got two options. I can show you a sneak peek here. I'm squirrel. So I'm doing a pop-up in town. And the idea is you can either come and make a card. Look at that, make a card for Mom. Or I will have whatever kits I have on hand there. You can also order kits for future use, but I will have some kits on hand. So we're making cards to give for Mother's Day. And so my son laughed at me, but so these are cards. So like if our lovely rascal wanted to give me a card, then this would be the card he would give me, right? Because this is kind of his coloring. Him sitting still and behaving and letting somebody tie a bow around his neck. Yeah, that would never happen. But it kind of looks like that. So this is one of the card options where you can come and make. I'm trying to keep them pretty simple. And yes, that dog's retired, but I got a cat too, and I'm not ever getting rid of those punches because they're just too handy. And then you have another option, like to make them if there's a bunch of, let's say you have 2 dogs and a cat, right? So there's a whole bunch of different colors and things you can punch out. So this is like one of the ideas. Come stop by real quick, make a card. So that could be from the dog to the mom, or to somebody you know who's a fur mom, or just somebody who likes animals. You know, it could be anything. So yeah, make some cards or buy some kits. So that's what I'm doing this weekend. So if you want to come and see what I have in store, or if you want to get your orders in for the paper pumpkin or something else, just let me know. Kits are a lot of fun. Look at how colorful and fun these things are. I love shaker cards, and I'm just one of those people that once you get it and you realize it shakes, I shake, I can't stop. Shake, right? But kids especially like shaker cards. So here's what I find though. The best way to do the kit, in my humble opinion, is to kind of take the pieces out as you go. Now, these are 3 different envelopes that match. A piece of paper blocking my light there. Okay. In reality, what you should do is look at the instructions. I tend to just start without looking at the instructions. I can tell because there are 3 different color envelopes. That's going to be 3 of the kits. But if you go through as you're going through, and well, here, I never use the instructions, but let's keep them there for reference. And just kind of go through. I got a stray, there we go, a stray sequence. Go through and match up which one goes. And in this case, all I'm doing, honestly, is I'm just looking at the picture on the front. I didn't actually open the instructions. I do look at the pictures on the front, though, which tells me which one goes with which envelope. So this one's going to go over here, and this one's going to go over here and look like a piece of cake. This one is part of our birthday present. Now, I'm saving these for somebody who needs them, so I do have to quit the stockpile of them somewhere. I think it's a preference thing. There is no right or wrong answer to this question of, do you keep your die cuts, like your labels, in the sheet, or do you pop them out? Now, these ones are different because these ones happen to be lined, if you can see that, with this nice silver metallic. Ooh, look at me hitting the right angle. Sometimes they're just white, right? So they're a white die cut on a white sheet. Maybe it's my old eyes. I don't know. But I have a hard time when I go to actually stamp. If they're in the sheet, I have a really hard time seeing them. So I tend to pop them out. And let me just see, I'm going as we go here. I'll pop them all out, but pop out the die cuts and just stamp them individually. I find them way easier to be out, and I'll show you another trick I use, but I find it way easier to do them outside of the sheet. Now, if you find it easier to leave them in the sheet, they're not moving around as much, that works too. It's personal preference. So I'm just going to pop all these. I'm not going to make all these cards, but I'm going to try to make one of each. I'm just going to see how we're doing on time. The idea behind the kits is they never should take a huge amount of, excuse me, I've just hit puberty. They should never take a huge amount of time. I'm going to stop for a drink here. Sorry. Okay. They're meant to be not really beginner level, but just more casual crafting, easy crafting. There's no complex techniques and stuff generally in them. They, like I said, they do the work for you. That's the beauty of the kit. They do the work for you. Okay. Now, depending what this is, right now this is just a white piece of paper that does not have very many big spots in it. But I will tell you, if you want to Google, either in Pinterest or Facebook or whatever, paper pumpkin or the paper pumpkin, and see what comes up, and there's lots of alternatives. There's something called the Paper Pumpkin Fan Club, which is like specific to this kit. You will see what people do. Now, sometimes these are cutouts or die cuts, and they'll be like, the stuff will overflow onto this, the negative image, and people will cut around them and use these for things. Or somebody will cut this piece of cardstock out and put it over top of a DSP and stamp in it or something like this. The creativity that people do with kits, it's just amazing to see. these specific kits, sorry, I said paper pumpkin. You can see so many alternatives. Oops, I just ran over the dog who keeps insisting on sleeping under the chair. These ones you have to search for by the name of the kit. But if you typed in the name of the kit's on the front, so Stampin' Up! Confetti Birthday Kit, you'll get all sorts of options. And you will see if people have changed things up or added to them or whatever. But yeah, it's amazing to me as I throw it in the recycle bin, what people can do with like the negative images and the scraps and the bits and pieces. So then I have more of these little bits that go here. That one's going there. This one is going behind the cake. And this one just goes behind the window. Now, because I know how to do the other ones, I'm tempted to just go ahead and do them. But to show you how beautiful the instructions are, I'm actually going to show you. I'm going to do just this one here first, I guess. And I'll show you. Here's another little thing I'll tell you. When they do the die cuts, they keep tiny little pieces attached, right? Just so they don't all fall out of the sheet. Sometimes they're more pronounced than others. Ooh, that's too small to see. Okay, it doesn't show up very well on camera, but sometimes they're too, and they bug me. So I will sometimes just go around and give my pieces a haircut. So I'm just going and cutting off the three little nipples, is what I tend to call them, little bits that are sticking out off the side of this card, just because it gives it just a nice cleaner cut. Okay, so I'm going to keep one card. I'm going to keep one envelope for this one, and I'm going to move the rest over here because they're going to be in the way eventually. Yeah, look how fun that is. A nice bright envelope, but look at the fun confetti flap on that one. So, okay, get my eraser out of the way. There's my card. So you see, I just full of tips as I go. I probably have mentioned this one before, but you see when I just folded this with my finger, and it doesn't want to lay flat. In this case, because it's so pretty, I'm going to flip it over so I don't wreck it. But your bone folder. See how it's flat now? At first, I'm like, why do you need a bone folder? I got a finger. But the bone folder really does make a difference. Like that card lays flat now. It's magic. And it also, so I tend to do like this, like I go across the whole thing. I don't just hit just the very tip. I go across like this. If your hands are dirty, if your hands have a little grease on them, if something's going to rub off, the bone folder sort of saves you from that. Okay. We have this little piece and this little piece. Okay, so this is what I meant about the instructions and how good they are. So at first it tells you like to stamp on here. It tells you that I'm going to use the Let's Party stamp because they're between two little pieces of cellophane. I forgot to get my my chamois wet to wash things. So we'll see if I have any. I always have baby wipes around, but they're usually more for my hand than they are for stamps, but they do work for the stamps. Okay, that was from last time when I was showing you where the new facility at the pop-up is. It's right on Main Street. Yeah. Would it have been easier to put that down first? Oh yeah. Did I? No. Okay, I do tend to when I stamp, because I have a full-size ink pad of every color. I normally don't use the spots, but because I am strictly using this kit, I'm not using anything else other than, well, okay, I guess I lied. I use my bone folder. I was going to say nothing else other than scissors. But I do like my bone folder. So I'm going to use the spot as it was intended. Okay, so the lid comes off, and I'm just running down either side there to take this off. Now, I will tell you, as much as I like to use the big blocks with the Stamparatus, these little things were such a saver, because you can go like this and stamp just the ink and not get ink all over everywhere, right? So you can do it this way. My stamp is on the, I was going to say it's on the ground. You can just stamp on the ground. My stamp is on the desk, and I'm just going over it like this and putting ink on it. And because this stamp is brand new, I'm always going to stamp on my paper. So I can also tell that this is a very juicy ink pad. But especially with the photopolymer, I find you need to kind of condition it a little bit. And I have something stuck on the R, like a little piece of fuzz that's going to screw up every time I stamp it there. So that's why I always like to stamp it once just on the scrap paper. Okay, so we can do it that way, but you can also use these, and sometimes it just depends on the size of the stamp, or just, I guess, what's in your hand at the time. So you can also just do it like an ink pad. These stamps are more of the linen top on them. And the beauty of photopolymer, of course, is you can look right through there and see if you've missed any spots in your stamp. You just look right through and see it. And then straight down. This is a bit of a dark color. I'm just gonna let it sit there for a second. Ta-da! And then I always like to just stamp my stamp off. I try to leave my stamp space down as well. I don't actually think we use this for the other ones, but I'm not totally sure. Let me see. Let's party. Oh no, we don't use it for the other ones. Okay. I do this, and I try to put the lid on right away. Why? Because I'm the person who's going to stick my finger in it, or stick my card in it, and then touch everything else with it, and then all of a sudden, everything is blueberry. Okay, I have the weirdest dog in the world who's obsessed with paper, which amuses friends of mine, because I do have a lot of paper, and I do spend a lot of time playing with it. And the dog is currently digging through the recycle bin for a certain piece of paper. Oh, he's decided on the cardboard box. But in the meantime, took like 6 other pieces of paper out of the recycle bin and stuck them on the floor beside the recycle bin so he could get to the box he wanted. Yes, that is my day to day. He usually sneaks in behind me. I had it behind me before. This time I put it in front of me thinking it would help, but no. He knows that I'm busy. And so the dog is too smart for his own good, let's face it. He knows I'm busy, so he just comes in and blatantly goes in front of me and takes what he wants. Okay, now here's the reason I don't use wet wipes very often for my stamping, is because where do you set them that you don't get a big wet spot in some of your paper? So this is my Gunji little chamois that I usually use, and it's in a plastic container. So I'm just going to put my wet wipe in there, because yeah, you don't want to set it down, because if you set your card on top of it, wet paper does not stamp well. Okay, so I did part 1 and I stamped. Now, these cute little bags that were here. Just a minute, I buried everything. There we go. And they have, so this is like the other ones. You have a little seal on them here. And it tells me that I'm supposed to stick this piece of paper in to here. Right, that's where I'm getting my little green backing. And then I'm supposed to put, these look almost like they're separated out, like the blue stars have sunk to the bottom. You can see that in the bag, right? There's a ton of blue stars here, none of them there. So I'm trying to, I like to think that the sequins will loosen them off. I need to mix them up, because I'm going to pour them out of this bag into 6 different cards. And I don't want all of the stars to be in one card at the end. Okay. So now, I guess what you have to do on this is, I said 6. We're making 9 cards. If you put too little sequins in, you can't see them. They just like kind of settle into the card. You can't really see them. If you put too much, though, they'll get clumped up together, and then they'll stop shaking, and you won't have the same effect. So you need to imagine that you're dividing this package by 9. And that's how much you want to put in here, right? Because you're going to put a little in each card. And you want to, I guess you can test run it, right? My favorite part of the shaker cards is the same as my favorite part of fireworks. The noise. I love the sound of a shaker card. Now, because we're doing this the cheater way, and you're going to see this whole thing, I think this is probably more than enough sequins, more than enough shakers to go in here. If you had one where you had a big border, or you had lots of things and it was all going to tuck down below, then maybe this isn't enough. But I think for this point, it actually is. So we're going to leave it at that for now. We're going to close this bag up because we're smart enough to know ourselves. And then we are going to take off this little strip that's on the back. Like I said, that's the same on our medium envelopes for cards. We're going to fold this over nice and snug. and it's like a self-sealing envelope. So this is how the clear ones come. The clear ones are just envelope size, right? So then I look at our little instructions, because I've done so far what I'm supposed to, and it tells me to put tape on the back. So tear and tape, awesome, tear and tape. Oh, there we go. Just got to find the end of it. And so we're going to put a strip. Now I just use my finger. I generally don't have long nails. I don't want long nails, but my nails do tend to grow fast. So I'll say generally I don't. You can cut this with scissors. You can use your little contraband bone folder. You can use the side of a block and just lay it down and pull on it. I always have used up gift cards on my desk. If you want like a straighter edge, you can just put them down like this and kind of tear across. You know how you tear paper on the side of a table? It's the same idea. This stuff tears really easily though. So, but just giving you options if you want a nice, perfect edge. So now we're going to put this on the card. So we'll peel the back off. Peel this back off. Oops. This piece is a little bit staticky. I got it everywhere on my desk. There we go. And I'm going to center it. And then it tells me to put on, four. Four seems excessive with full-size dimensionals. So I'm going to be the rebel that I am and only use 3. Because you are going to move it, like I would never just put 1. If you put 1 in the center, especially if something this big or circular for some reason, it will just spin, right? It'll never stay in place. You want to have at least 2 or 3. Now 3 anchors it, right, so that it's going to hold. And especially on a card like this where you're going to constantly be going and moving everything underneath. So this one says to put it, and I mean, you can put it wherever you want. I'm going to put it a little bit higher, like that. Now, this is a pretty easy enough card to make. I think I put my thing on crooked though, now that I look at it. But that's okay. It's still fun. Party. These would make fun birthday invites. If you did this and then on the inside, you just could slap a piece of, print it off on the paper and slap a little piece of paper and then it says, you're invited to celebrate my party at this date and this time. And, but again, I can't see shaker cards meant to be shaked. Meant to be shaked. Meant to be shaken. I think that would be better English. Oh, look at how much fun that is, though. And just look at how bright it is. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Next card. We're doing basically the same thing. You know what? I am actually going to be the responsible grown-up, mostly because I don't want to have to tear everything apart. I was going to say on national television, but while you guys are all watching, I'd like to show you that if you follow the instructions, it is actually easier. But in this case too, some of it is just getting it in the right order, like putting what. So you always want to make sure that there's something holding your shakers in, whether it's a bag or whether it's the window sheet idea, and that you don't see seams. So in this case, I'm pretty sure I would have figured it out without looking, but I did look. Okay, so this one, oops, I keep going off screen. So this one, we are going with the birthday cake. And the birthday cake one, oh, I was going to say, I've somehow buried my stats, is the one that says, oh, happy day. And I will agree, if you can have cake, it's a happy day. Cake does make things better. Now, here's one of the things that they will show you. And this is once again a personal choice. For some people, this works just great. And for some people, this is going to drive them nuts. So I put on the stamp that says, oh, happy day, because we're going to stamp that on the label that I also buried. I got the wrong labels on that one. Supposed to be using the other labels. And honestly, if you wanted to change the sentiments around, change the labels around, it probably wouldn't matter. Just double check before you do what you're doing. Okay, so we're going to we're going to stamp, oh, happy day on this. And then up here, we are going to stamp some candles on the cake. Now, what it shows you to do, and I know lots of demonstrators, if you have less blocks or if you just want to dig out less blocks, you just put a stamp on either side. Now, in this case, don't make your stamp like if you had two huge stamps, I would recommend against this because even as much as I stamp, I do find it hard to look through one stamp to see the other. Only one's going to have ink on it, so it's going to show a lot better. But if most of the stamps are overlapping, it is a little hard if you're going for nuance. In this case, you want these candles to hit the edge of here, right? So I would say that this is the limit. So I've got the candles on one side and this on the other side. The other thing you have to watch for, though, is if you're, depending how you stamp, and if you're not a neat stamper and you're going to do this at any point, or you're going to stick your hand like this, you're going to end up with ink all over it. And then you're going to have ink all over everywhere. So double mounting the stamps, one on each side of the block, works. And you can't really see it. Here, put it where you can actually see something. There we go. I do this with my blocks all the time. If I ever double mount them, I stand them on end, because once there's ink on one side of it, I don't put it over top of the envelope. I will say that. Once there's ink on it, I don't want it to accidentally set it the wrong way and stamp something I don't want stamped. Now, we're going to pop this little piece out. You probably could stamp with it in. You could probably find some super cute thing to do with it, with these little dinosaur mouth. That's what I see. What I don't know dinosaurs, so I can't tell you whatever the big, I don't know. The one with the big square nose is what makes me think of it, and the teeth. Anyways, enough sound effects, Tracy. That'll be good. So the reason I'm going to punch it like this, and I haven't folded my card in half either, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to use my good old silicone sheet, which I love for many, many things. Because when I put this down, and this is one of the things I will also do with the paper. Instead of trying to put this label on white and seeing what it is, and it's a little easier with the trim, but if it was just a solid white label, I put it on this sheet because then I have contrast. It makes it way easier to see. So, but I'm going to move that out of the way for now. So right now we're going to stamp candles. Now in the picture, it shows 5 candles. I would think you might be able to get 7. Maybe 9 if you kind of stuck 2 off the edge. You're not going to be able to put a ton of candles on here. So depending on who you're giving this to, if you lucked out and it happens to be somebody's 5th birthday, then this is perfect, or 6th or something. If you're just giving it to somebody and they're past the age of counting candles on their cake, let's just say, 56 candles. Nobody's putting that on a cake. So in that case, it's just a representation. Then it really doesn't matter how you do it. What you should do, though, and again, I'm just, because it's a new stamp, I'm just giving it a shot to, because if it's like the top of the candle is not holding the ink as well, and I don't know why this works. You just kind of have to rough up the surface sometimes, right? So I'm just kind of twisting it on my paper. It partially takes the ink off to clean it, but it also just, see, now the ink is sticking to the flame of the candle where it wasn't before. Because, I'll just wipe the end of that block off. You only get one shot, right? Like, I mean, you can flip the vase over. It's not the end of the world. You could flip the vase over if you made a huge mess on it, but then you lose the yellow dots. With other cards where you could just like grab another chunk of cardstock, but these are pre-printed, so I try to be a little more careful with my stamping, make sure I don't test right on the card. So if you're going to do, I find things more pleasant in odd numbers. I would put 3 of things or 5 of things. Or I guess you could just put 1 in the middle. But what I find, and I'm only going to put 3 on here because I like things in 3s, is do the one in the middle first. See, the top of this candle is, oh no, it's going to stamp okay. It's just the way photopolymer looks sometimes, I think. So I'm going to go right in the center and right on the edge. And in this case, I don't want to have a gap here at the bottom, right? I don't want white. I don't want it to look like the candle is floating. So I'm going to make sure that because I can see all the way to the bottom of this stamp, I went just a little bit off, just so that if I'm seeing it just slightly off, I'm not going to have a white gap there. I'm not going to have a floating candle. And then I'm going to go on either side. Now I would do the same if I was doing 5. I would do the same thing. I would put one in the middle, and then I would go on. Actually, if I was doing 5, I'd probably go out to the end and then the ones in the middle, just because it will help with spacing. If you start on one end and you try to space it, I find it way harder. If you had even numbers, I would stick my finger in the middle and I'd go one on either side, then the end ones, then the middle ones, just so I'm always trying to kind of set myself up for spacing. You know, when you try to write things and all of a sudden you're at the bottom and it's like super teeny and you're trying to squish it and you bend. Yeah, we're trying to avoid the stamping equivalent of that. Okay, so I need to put my third one over here and see now, I can see where the one is off center. It gives me the idea of where this candle's going. Oh, I just about dropped the block back onto the card. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So I got my 3 candles. And then, like I said, it just makes it easier. I'm going to stamp my sentiment. Oh, happy day. Oh, I think that's part of a gospel song. And I cannot sing. I am 100% enthusiasm, a 0% talent when it comes to singing. So I really should not sing live anywhere. Okay. Oh, happy day. The other thing you have to watch for when you're doing this is, because I have this one on the bottom and this one on the top, I like my block to be closer to the size of my stamp. I find it easier, less likely to make a mistake. I'm going to move that before I accidentally drop on it or something. In this case, this is at the bottom, which makes the stamp want to go like this, which will make the top smudge. And when you're stamping the candle, it's at the top, which makes you want to go like this, which is going to make the bottom smudge. So definitely, this is a 4-finger. Put it straight down and hold it level so you're not tempted to twist. If you just went one way or the other, then I think the unevenness of these stamps, it's going to be harder to stop it from smushing on you. And if you're not sure, like I said, there's nothing wrong with putting the candle right in the center, stamping the candles, wiping it off, putting the sentiment on, stamping that, wiping it off. This is just an option for you. 1 block, 2 stamps. There we go. Okay. That. And I'm going to just the thing you should know as well is you are witnessing a very rare occurrence, and that would be me cleaning as I go, because I will tell you that rarely happens. I have, I don't know, 20 blocks, and I get a stamp on every one of them, and I pull out 6 different stamp sets and I color them up, and I use 4 different colors of ink, and they all just sit around the outside of my table until I'm done at the end, and then I'll clean them. But the actual like clean as you go, that's unheard of for me. Okay, so we have our little inside piece for our cake. And this is, so if you want to do it yourself shaker kit, so this is like white on the back. I'm going to say Flirty Flamingo on the front. The good side, the color side you want out, is always going to go on the side that doesn't have the adhesive, right? So I'm showing you the white side because this adhesive's on the back. You can't really see it in there, but there it is. Right, so I'm going to do it this way so that when it especially matters on this part because I can see the whole front of this. This one part of it's going to be buried behind, but out of habit, you still want to do it right. Because when this folds over, this is like the messy side, which you don't want to see. So you want your color piece in here. Now, when you're using cardstock that's the same color on both sides, it doesn't matter as much. But on these ones, it's kind of nice that you can have this full dark colored card and the inside is white. You don't have to put a layer in there. So that is kind of a benefit to this. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. I'm going to put 1/9 of the sequins in here. Now I will tell you that if you're like me, because I do like a shaker card, I think these ones, this is one of the ones we had. I think these ones just retired with the last catalog. So these ones had 3 different colors. We had red, pink, and green, entire containers of these. I love to make shaker cards. I don't make them near enough, but one of these classes coming up, I'm going to have it. It's just going to be all shaker cards. When we had the ice cream sprinkle one, we had this one with these little ones. These are just little silver shimmery ones. And then I think in the last catalog, and I stock up on them when they were going out because we don't always have them. And then I had these ones. So I always have a ton of extras. I'm trying to find the really cool one though. The one that just retired. It's called Effervescence. And for some reason, I cannot find it right now. But you know what I said my favorite part of shaker cards was the sound. Oh my goodness, that one makes the best sound. Why can I not find it? It was like little tiny plastic balls, thousands of them. And it made the greatest, like rain on a, oh, it was the greatest sound. Anyways, because I always have extra, I'm not actually as concerned with how much I put in here because I know I can just dip into some of my multitude of other ones. But yeah, ideally you're trying for 1 month. So I'm going to close this. Now, we want this. You get a little bit of static sometimes. I'm just moving them around a bit. That's okay. They'll eventually shake loose. Now this one we're putting sideways, and we're putting here, right, to give us our cake. So we want to put our tear and tape on the edges, on the top edges, and we're also putting it on the front of the card. And this time, if we put it on the back of the card, it would mark. What did I do with my tear and tape? There it is. So, you know what? Before I get too far, I should look and see how much play do I have here in the end. The top, you have lots of room. The bottom, you want to scooch down pretty close to the edge of the card. Make it so it doesn't pop out because there's a very thin strip here. Up there, there's a bigger strip. So we're going to put those in. Oops, I'm sticking to myself there. And I'm going to, it's hit or miss, you know, with tear and tape. Sometimes it's super easy to peel, and sometimes fight. And it's harder, especially when there's rougher underneath it, when it's not, when you can't like burnish it down really easily. Okay, so I'm going to do it this way. I was going to see if laying it down and closing on it would work, but I don't honestly think that will, because I want to make sure that this card is centered. You're going to kind of see the, and I guess if I thought of it beforehand, you could have stamped like that "Let's Party" on the back of this paper or something, just so it looked a little nicer. But I want to try to center it on here, right? So I'm going to center it this way to begin with on the opening. Just a minute, let me get my handy dandy silicone mat back out. So I'm going to go like this. So I'm kind of centering it on the opening and then keeping it as even as I can. I'm going to slide it down. So I'm going to make sure that there's at least a 1/4 inch over of it going, because that's how wide the tear tape was. I'm not sure why I stuck so much my finger there. Just so that it's not poking out the end and there's no adhesive, no adhesive showing this way. Oh my God, this card is super cute. Look at that. Whee! Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Again, why am I singing in live? I don't know, because it's not something you would ever normally catch me doing, because I can't. I like to use the edges. And on thinner ones, it says to put 3, but you don't need 3 full-size ones. You need 3 half ones, which the edges are perfect for. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of our little label. I do have a garbage can on my desk. When I reach like that and I'm throwing stuff, I'm actually putting it in it. You want to see it? Isn't this the cutest little garbage can? So this red one is for garbage. I have a blue one as well for recycle. So things that can go in the recycle. This is just, that was a tin foil I was using to sharpen my punch earlier, and the backings off of tear and tape and stuff. But actual cardstock and paper goes in the lovely recycle one that's there. Okay, so this one, I don't know that I can see it. I guess it doesn't really matter. I was going to say, if I'm trying to get the things to stick to the, it's not really going to make a difference if they stick to the plastic. It was my oh happy day. Oh, I do like that. Look at how fun that is. The other thing I forgot to mention, I like to stamp my envelopes. In this case, you don't have to because they are quite decorated already. I like stamped inside my cards. So I could have, if I had taken it off, we'll do it after the next one, but I could stamp little candles on the inside here. Let's party. What did I write on the front? Oh, happy day. You can put happy birthday in the inside. So you can use the stamps to stamp them in. They don't ever show you that, but you could also do that as well. All right, what time are we at? Oh my goodness, we're at 8:04. Okay, well, I'm going to stop now because I went way over. I was having too much fun. Like I said, to me, the beauty of the kit, because I mean, I could have die cut and figured this all out. I like it when somebody else does the work. So I'm going to sign off. And then I'm going to finish one of these cards as well, though. And then when I post the picture, you'll be able to see the third finished card. But it's basically going together the same way, right? I'm making a little box piece on the front. I'm putting in the shaker stuff, and away I go. I am sorry for going over. And here I was thinking it's going to be a short thing. I'm not even going to go the full hour. Here we go. Rapid fire. Boom. Pop-up shop. That's this weekend. The 28th. That's 2 Saturdays from now, I think. 2 Sundays from now. We're doing bikes and boats. Boats and bikes. We're making some cards. If you need a personalized color for your motorcycle, let me know. Technique Tuesday. Markers versus blends. We are going to have some fun coloring. That picture I showed you from the paper pumpkin of the scenery, I'm printing everybody one of those on cardstock. I've got some little flowers I'm printing out, a bunch of different things where you can try, and then in the end you will have spent a couple hours coloring, which is in itself fun, but then you can put them on I'll have some pre-made like little backs and stuff that you can use, make them into cards. Coffee and cards, we're doing 3 quick cards there that's on a Thursday morning. I'm doing a pop-up again for Father's Day. That's on the 17th. So we'll have same thing. Come and make a few cards. They'll just be different themed cards. One of them will be this sailboat punch, which I absolutely love. And then, our Stampin' Up! Retired product sale at the end of June. Let me know if you want a VIP pass to come to that early. And Christmas, that's a ways away yet, but we're already planning. So there you go. Some upcoming events, some upcoming kits. I will keep you posted. If anybody wants a kit, get a hold of me. I am putting in an order tomorrow, and then probably not for maybe another week or 2 before the next stuff comes out that I need to order. But let me know. You can always order on my online store, but if you want to do shared shipping and save a little bit on the cost of shipping, then let me know. Sorry, I just lost my piece of paper. So that's what's up this Wednesday. Thanks for joining me. Thanks, Dana. You know what? I usually I don't generally have a plan. I like to wing it. I'm very good at winging it. So I just start, and then you find out tips and you think of things along the way. And so I'm glad you found it interesting. I'm glad there's always something comes out of it other than just playing. But I will tell you, I do love playing with a kit. You want to have like a little mental cleanse and just have some fun, give your brain a break, get a kit. It's amazing. Thank you, everybody. I will see you back here at noon on Friday with something. I don't know what, because I haven't thought that far ahead yet. But I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week, and we'll see you on Friday.